Welcome back to Horn and Fin Outdoors, and thank you for coming to watch my review of my brand new Penn Squall 2 conventional fishing reel. If you like this reel or anything else you see in this video, there's going to be links so you can buy one in the description and also the comments of the video. So let's open this puppy up and let's check it out. Well, I'm out here today doing some fishing for some blackfish, and while I've got a little break in the action, I can't think of a better time to spend opening up my new reel and setting it up while I'm out here on the boat. I purchased a Penn Squall 2. If you've watched any of my other videos on this channel, I'm a fan of Penn reels. I have a Penn Fierce reel that I use quite a bit for stripers. I've also used it for porgies and blackfish. I did a review on that reel. If you want to check it out, I'm going to put a link up in the upper right hand corner of this video so you can go check that reel out. And last year I also bought a Penn Squall bait casting reel. I set that up with a little bit lighter line to use for porgy fishing, which I had a great time using it for porgies, but I've also found that I've had fun using that reel for blackfish this year too. It's a little light, but I enjoy using lighter tackle. It makes it a little bit more fun. So I also did a review on that reel. So if you want to check that reel out, I'm going to link that up in the upper right hand corner so you can check that out too. But let's get to the reel that you came to see. This is a Penn Squall 2, and I'm going to give you a little disclaimer about this reel and all my other videos too. I don't get paid by Penn. I didn't get this reel for free. I went out and bought this reel myself, and the reason why I bought it is because I was fishing with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago, and he had one, so I checked it out. I thought, oh man, this is a pretty nice reel. So I went and got one myself. Now, if you like this reel or anything else in this video, remember, there's going to be links in the comments and also the description. So I'll give you a link so you can click on it and you can go and buy it. If you do that, I'd appreciate it because I get a little bit of a kickback for it and it helps me put some money in my pocket and make more of these videos. But let's get this thing opened up. I'm buying this reel because I want to set it up for trolling for stripers and also fishing for blackfish. But I get the box open, and the first thing I see is the reel. Now, before I open that up, let's check out what else is in the box here. Okay, there is a parts diagram, which is always good to have in case you need to do some repairs on your reel. There is the instruction manual for the reel right here. And then there's a bag of parts. It looks like there is a little wrench. And then there's also a bracket so you can mount this reel and clamp it onto a fishing reel, a fishing pole, which I may not use the way I'm going to set this one up. And let's open up the reel and take a look at it. Now, this reel is the part number of this, the manufacturer's part number of this reel is SQL 1120LW. Now that LW is because it has the level wind on it, which when you're reeling it in, it helps to evenly spread your line across the whole spool. I do like that for sure. There is also on this reel here, we'll start from the left hand side of it as I'm looking at it. There is the bait clicker switch, which is going to give you that little ratcheting sound when you have it clicked on. I usually don't use that too much. And that's all there is really on that side. In the middle of the reel, you've got the level wind, a little dew flicker on there. And if you look at the reel, or the spool, there's going to be some lines on the inside of the spool. That's your capacity lines for the different capacities of line you can have on there. And this reel has for, I'm going to be putting 30-pound braid on this reel, I believe, maybe 20. I can't remember what I purchased. But it'll hold 860 yards of 20-pound braid, and it'll hold 600 yards of 30-pound braid. So it holds quite a lot of line. I should not hopefully need that much line at all. And then moving over to the right-hand side, we have the eccentric lever, which is to drop the spool, and then also to click on it, click it forward, and you can retrieve the reel then. And you have your tension knob over here like most reels have. And when we set that tension knob, what I do is I open up the lever, and whatever weight I have on my line, it should slowly drop out of the rod when you hold the rod horizontal. So you adjust that tension on there, because you don't want it zinging out of there because you'll get a backlash, and you don't want it to just sit there because it won't do anything. So when you open up that lever, your line should just slowly drop down into the water. That's what that little adjustment knob is for. And then we get over here to the drag. This has the HT100 star drag on it, which so does the other Squall that I bought. And one of the nice things I like about this drag is that while you're reeling, it's very easy to reach up there with your finger or your thumb and adjust that drag. You know that on spinning rods, a lot of times you have to take your hand off the lever and reach up there and adjust it. But with this, it's very simple. As you're reeling, you can just reach up there and make it a little bit tighter or looser or whatever you need to do. And then the last thing we have on here is the handle. Now they call this a convertible power handle, probably because you can take the knob off there and adjust it so you can get a little bit more cranking power on it if you need it. And this handle has a nice rubberized grip to it. I think there's ball bearings inside here that helps it spin better. And it just feels nice to hold. It's got a good size to it, so it fits in your hand nice. And it's a nice, comfortable, well-balanced reel. It's got a little bit of weight to it, not a lot. It only weighs, I think, 17 ounces, so that's a little over 1 pound. It has an aluminum housing, or I'm sorry, a graphite housing and an aluminum spool on it. So that helps to cut back the weight a little bit. It has some bearings in here. You've got, I think there's 4 shielded stainless steel bearings that are inside here. And then there's also, I think, a brass bearing that's in the handle or something like that. But I know it's got 4 shielded stainless steel bearings inside here. And there is a cover on the side that is easy to take off that gives you good access to those bearings to clean them or do whatever you need to do to them. When you reel this thing in, you're gonna feel that it has a 4.9 to 1 gear ratio, and I think every turn of the handle pulls in. Now, if I remember, I may be wrong on this. If I remember correctly, 28 inches of line for every turn on the handle. So it's a very nice reel. Penn makes quality products. I really like Penn reels. Some people are against them, but hey, it's all personal preference as far as I'm concerned. Now, to set this reel up with line, what I'm choosing here is I've got Power Pro braid that I put on there. I've been using Power Pro for a long time, and I'm okay with it. So it's probably not the fanciest of braid there is, but it works well for the applications that I use it on. I did get a 30-pound braid. That's what I'm going to be putting on here. If you want to see a little bit of a tutorial on how to spool braid the correct way so it doesn't spin or come loose on you, I did doing a video on that as well. So I will link that video up in the upper right-hand corner so you can click on it and check it out if you want to see it. Now let's talk the rod I'm going to put this on. I bought a Shimano Travala rod. This is a 6.5 foot rod, medium heavy, fast action. I bought a similar rod that I put on my other Penn Squall reel, and I really like the rod. So I decided, hey, I might as well stick with something I know and stick with something that I think works pretty well. This is a slightly different rod than the other one that I have purchased, but it's nice and light. It's comfortable. I like the long butt of it, so if I'm tog fishing, I can push down on the back and hold it comfortably so I can start reeling. And it's got the little trigger here underneath it, so I can. It kind of helps you hold the reel upright when you have because it gets a little. I'm sorry, hold the rod upright because it gets a little top heavy when you put the reel on it. But that is my setup, and I am going to take some time today and put this reel all together. And like I said, I've used it. I just can't wait to use my own and catch a fish on it. I don't know if you can see behind me here, but I'm about to hit the break walls and try and catch some togs. So hopefully I'll get this set up and I'll get out there and do some fishing with it. So one more time, if you like anything you see in this video, definitely check the comments in the description. There's Amazon links in there. You can click on it and they will send this stuff right to your house. Quick and easy peasy. And before you know it, you'll have a reel like this and a setup and you'll be out there fishing too. So thank you very much for coming. Like I tell everybody in my videos, I wish you all nothing but tight lines and short blood trails. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, I had the drag set way too loose. There we go. First fish with the new rod. First blackfish with the new rod. He's not going to be a keeper, but that's a good way to break in the new Penn Squall 2 on the Shimano Travala rod. Felt great. I just got to make sure I keep the drag tightened up. It was a little bit too loose, so woo!